Hello, ambitious people, and welcome to the Founder Games Podcast. I'm your host, Alexander Dinev, and today I'm here with Mirjana Josifovska, or to be more exact, MJHats. That's your startup's name. I'm wearing one of the hats today. It looks good. Red looks good on me, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, thank you. And it's great for you to be having me here.
Yeah,
I'm very honored.
It's great to have you as well. Firstly, I would love it if you do like a little quick introduction of yourself, of your startup, just so people get to know you.
So I'm Mirjana Josifovska and the founder of MJHats, which is the first Macedonian designer hats brand. And our mission is to reduce textile waste by producing sophisticated headwear, which is sustainably designed and ethically produced from production excess materials.
So what inspired you to start your brand? What inspired you to start your own business? I'm going to take this off right now and give it back to you to show the camera the branding. This is how it looks. Take it.
Thank you. So should I put it on now or?
Yeah?
Okay, let's see how it would look. Okay.
You look French. Bonjour. Comment ça va?
Thank you. So I was really interested into clothes as a young girl and in drawing and painting. So I started with that. I would like draw things. And then my parents bought me like a first sewing machine when I was 14 because I'm a third generation in my family that works with fashion or textiles. So I feel like that was in my DNA to go to that path. And then I studied fashion design, and then I did workshops on sustainability and learned about how much textile waste is created every year. So I think I joined those two passions in a way, which is fashion and then sustainability, and trying to create something together.
Amazing. That's a very lovely story, and it's nice that you're continuing it on with another generation of,
Yep.
doing that as of, previous people did before you. We all know that having a startup is challenging, it has its ups and downs, and most people call it a roller coaster. What would you say are one of your biggest mistakes as an entrepreneur and one of your biggest achievements as of recently?
So I would say the biggest mistakes, or maybe not a mistake, but is when I started, I really did not understand the business part of it because I was like a very creative founder. So I was very good at the creative aspects of it and the designer aspects of it, but the business part really lacked and I didn't have like a much background in it. So I had to learn all these things throughout as I was building the startup, which is very difficult as opposed for you already having any experience and then, building your startup. So I had to learn like a lot about positioning and financials and business plans, and that was really overwhelming. So I think that the mistake I did was getting into something that I really didn't know a lot about, and I was not like prepared that much.
Right.
And then something that I would say like I'm proud of is like even all of the obstacles that occurred along the path, I found like a way how to push through it and continue doing it.
Can you share that way with our viewers? Maybe some of them that are going through challenging times and it's hard for them to push through. Can you say how you pushed through just so they, have something to get inspired by?
So every time I feel like I'm stuck at a moment and, you feel like you're so focused on it and you feel like there is like no way going forward, I just try to like isolate from that moment and like usually like go for a walk or, distract myself from that. So in a way you can see that the bigger picture and see that, this is just one obstacle. It's not the whole thing. And you have to like push it through. And when you do it, you realize that, it wasn't that big. It wasn't that scary. You just have to like find the strength to really push it through. And ultimately things will work out in the end.
Great. You mentioned some of your weaknesses, which is not, at the beginning, not knowing the business aspect of it. I mean, you're a creative person, of course, like the hats and everything. Do you think that you currently maybe lack some type of skill set that you want to learn along the way? or if not you, maybe some of your members of your team?
So something that I'm right now like learning, and I think I've like started learning this like period, was be like patience, because when I started, I like wanted everything like right now, and I wanted things, but I wasn't ready for them. I just wanted them, and I've learned along the path of how to like plan things, how to like do them, and then getting them at the right time, and that requires patience. And I didn't have that. So
Right. Well, aside from the weaknesses, what would you say is your biggest strength as an entrepreneur?
I feel like it could be the fact that like whatever is happening, I can maybe isolate from a situation and see it objectively, not just from my perspective, but like see the bigger picture.
Right.
And from there, like learn how I can act, rather than, being stuck with just my ego and that's it. So, because ultimately you have to like learn to do what's best for your business and not for you as a person. So I think maybe that would be like, maybe not the strongest one, but maybe like one of the strongest suits I have.
Well, one of the hardest thing to do in life in general, not in just business, is to know how to put your ego aside and look at things without an ego. And I'm glad you're finding ways to manage with that, because it's so hard for some people. Let's touch upon on your team. How big is your team, and what does it consist of?
So generally, I'm the person that leads everything basically, and the one who does like not like 8 hours a day, but like 24/7. But I also collaborated with seamstresses. That is when we are preparing our stock, our productional stock. And besides that, when we like produce our editorials, we also work with a couple of photographers, graphic designers, videographers, so anything that's really needed to get great content. And my way of working is like I started working with a couple of people. I like the products and the results they get, and then I just stick with them.
What would you say like inspires you every single day, that keeps you going?
And that is also something that I've learned, is because before I was so focused on like getting the goal, getting to a certain goal, but now I've like learned how to enjoy the process of getting to that role, or to that specific goal. So in a way, it's like I've learned how to romanticize the process and try to like enjoy the process. So I feel like that is something that I'm really excited about every day. I'm like, okay, today I'm contributing, to doing this goal or that goal, and just really finding like happiness in the process of doing that, rather than just like getting to the finish line and that's it.
Yeah. Most people don't prioritize that part, which is crucial to do so, because the way to your goal usually takes a lot more time than when you arrive at it. So it's better to have, it's good to have in focus like the main goal that you're trying to reach, but also not neglect the pathway leading up to it. Speaking of goals, we all achieve a lot of stuff every single day, you as well with your own company. Where do you see MJHats in the next 5 years from now? How do you see yourself growing with your company?
So I would want to, that is like one of the goals that I've had, is to get on Forbes 30 under 30.
Oh, amazing.
So that would be like one of the goals. But what is really important for me is I want to build a bigger productional studio. And for me, it's really important to employ women in that productional studio. And I'm really focused on like fostering the textile industry in the Polog region, because the textile industry in the country generally is really dying. And so the idea is, for me, I would really very much would love to employ women from rural areas, because Teto has a lot of rural area around the city, and women there do not have the same working opportunities as the ones who are living in the town, and as well as young women in the textile industry, since it's it's dying industry. So I would really want to make a change about that.
It's good that you're trying to support them as well. I love that. But aside from them, what would you say? Who would you say is like your biggest support? While like starting your business, I know like there's always a lot of judgment around that. People saying, "Oh, it's gonna fail," or like, what are you like gonna do? Like some hats or stuff like that. Like there's always gonna be judgment and other people's opinions. And those tough moments, who is here to support you?
So I would say it's really my dad. And the reason for that is that he also has a company. So
nice.
When I said that I wanted to start my own company, he was actually like really supported me about that. And because the biggest, like the most common experience teenagers here have when they say like I want to start like a business, and parents like, okay, but like why are you gonna do that? Find a stable job and stuff like that. So I think I was really happy that my dad was actually really supportive about it. And then the funny thing is that right now my production studio is in the same place where he started his company.
That is so cute.
So I would say like he is like a very like great support for me, and also in a way of like he would never restrict me in anything. His approach was like try it, experience it, get as much as possible from it, learn from it, and then you can do more things.
Great. I love the fact that you have support from your dad, and I bet that motivates you a lot. What would you say to people, like as an advice? What would you say to them that want to like start their own company but are afraid to do so, or maybe don't have support from their parents or friends or whatever? Because most of them, want to do things but are afraid of judgment or other different factors that play part in having a company. What would you say to them?
So I would really say like do it now, because right now, and especially when you're like teenager or 18, you have all the time in the world and you don't really have that much responsibilities, right? So you can live with your parents, so some things could be taken care of. And then you have the ability to explore this, right? Because it would be a lot more difficult when you're older and you have like biggest responsibilities. And so it's way easier, and it's a great place to like experience things and even like risk things because you have the opportunity to. So, just do it. Don't overthink it, because like years can pass very fast. And then, that is like also my greatest motto is like, I don't want to like live and then a life and then, regret something that I didn't do. I would rather like regret maybe something that I did rather than something that I didn't do, because at least like you tried.
Yeah. And you never know the outcome of it. So the sooner you start, the sooner you will fail, and the sooner you will learn, which is very important. Amazing. My last question would have to be, where can people find MJHats?
So you can find us at social media at Mirjana Josifoska, and you can also find us at Urma Concept Store, which is a physical and an online store located in Skopje.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. I enjoyed this talk. Hopefully you did as well. And thank you to our audience watching currently. Thank you for showing up today as well. And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.